crash again?
No.
Today?
No.
Like it did last time?
No.
No?
No, it's going to stay.
It's going to stay?
It's going to work.
You're quite sure about that?
Yes.
Do you think you're going to crash today?
I might.
You might? Yeah.
Hello. Welcome to Practical Parenting Podcast.
What? Hello?
We would like to welcome you in our recording studio with our 3 assistants behind the computer that you cannot see. And
I don't know what she's talking about.
And
I don't know what she's talking about. We
don't
have a recording studio. We have a recording studio which doubles as a living room. Yeah, a chill out room.
But it's still a recording studio at the same time. Bro.
You think so?
Aye.
Doing that again. Just because it's Halloween, you think you can be a pirate?
Yes, I can be a pirate. I can be anything I want.
You can be anything you want to be. Just turn yourself into anything you think that you can never be.
What was that?
I'm not telling you, it's a secret.
I know we could have been anything that we wanted to be.
What the hell is that? Are you trapped inside a Disney movie?
What's his name? Bings.
I'm scared. I don't know where you're going with this. I'm scared.
The movie with the kids that were the mafia, the mafia kids, the gangsters.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Old film, kids gangsters.
I think you're making it up.
No, it exists, doesn't it, people? The kids gangsters.
You're making it up. I have no idea.
What was it called? Some Banksy,
Bugsy, Dogsy, Bugsy Malone?
Yes!
How can I know more about this stuff than you? I know stuff about things I don't even want to know stuff about.
Well, there you go. That was the movie.
And what was the point?
Of the song I was singing. You didn't singing. You didn't know what song I was singing.
Thinking. You're thinking
singing a song, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I sang it pretty deep, actually.
Yeah. Thinking instead of thinking.
Instead of singing, actually, but never mind.
Talking about sinking. That pumpkin that's hanging on our balcony out there.
Oh my! Oh!
It's kind of sunk.
Okay, it doesn't even look like a face anymore. It looks like some kind of.
Oh, it does look like a face. I mean, the thing about pumpkins is they look scarier as they deteriorate.
As they age, they actually look like aging people, doesn't it? Yeah. I mean, it looks like an old person.
It reminds me of my mother,
with
actually.
A problem with their nose. No, it doesn't.
It does. It reminds me of my mother.
Your mom doesn't smile that wide. She smiles slightly less wide.
She doesn't smile that often. She kind of grimaces.
No, she doesn't grimace. And she definitely doesn't have
my mother's happy face.
Orange skin.
But she could.
It reminds me more of you, actually.
Oh, here we go.
But if you look at the eyes,
here we go.
It does not. Eyes.
It's got. Oh dear.
Look at a vacant stare. It's like you in the morning.
The vacant stare of the hanging pumpkin.
Yeah.
It looks nicer from the other side because it's got a face on both sides.
Well, we had to put the nicer face out there so that people don't.
We had to turn it around because
the nose fell off. The upper lip fell off.
Yeah, because it doesn't have a nose, does it? Because the nose is a hole.
There's a nose hole.
It does. But it looks freaky when the red candle's inside and burning. It does sort of look... I'd like... Are you all right there? Shall I call an ambulance?
I'm sorry, I just drowned in my coffee.
Yeah? I'm trying to drink it too fast. There you go. Right. I think it will last 24 hours. And that'll be the end of that pumpkin. Outside. What do you? You're looking at me. You're looking at me like You should take it down now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking actually. How did you know? That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, but the thing is that it from the other side, the face on the other side looks really good.
Okay.
And no one can see the face on this side except us. So
How did you know that was the look? I mean, I just looked like this. And you knew what I was thinking.
I can read your mind.
Oh, snap.
Yep.
Like all the time? Or just sometimes?
It's one of my superpowers that I turn on from time to time.
Don't turn it on too much, okay?
I know where you're going, right? So yeah, I know. I'd look if this side was on that side, then I would take it down. But it's not. And if you go around the other side,
I can't because there's void and about 10 meters of void underneath your feet.
That was freaky.
What's that?
Well, the picture just kind of spun around.
Yeah.
And we changed positions for a sec.
It must be the Halloween feature.
The Halloween feature?
Yeah.
On Fibber. Interesting. Right. We're talking about a lot of things that you can't see, but if you did scroll through the Facebook page in the last couple of days, you would have seen a lot of
pumpkins. Sorry, I'm jumping into your things.
You are.
I do that all the time. I know.
You try to finish my sentences.
That's because you always start your sentence so well, and you're so slow in finishing it, and I just don't have patience for that.
It's called being dramatic.
Yeah, well, I don't have patience for drama.
said the former thespian.
Excuse me.
Thespian, not lesbian.
What's a
thespian? Actor. An actor, darling. An actor. You know, a member of the theatre. A member of the.
I remember something like that.
The worldly class. Yeah. One who's able to.
The theatre. We all love the theatre.
What the hell did you put in your coffee? Is that coffee?
Something like, hey, I forgot to put that. Oh. Okay,
what?
Well,
what are you doing?
Yeah, I should go and put the other stuff in it.
Wait, did I see you walking across the kitchen with the spicy chili?
I was spicing it up, actually, yes.
You almost put the spicy chili into your coffee? No.
I've put some cinnamon in it. And
what's this? You got stuff on your shoulder here. What's this?
You've
been
some music?
You're just messy eater.
Pumpkin guts?
Breakfast. You got breakfast on your shoulder.
I didn't eat breakfast. What are you talking about? Is that the pie?
Might be some of the pie.
Okay. That would make
sense. Is there a lot of sugar in the pumpkin pie?
Yeah.
That'll be what made it so good.
Well, you can't.
Ow! Just need me in the crotch. What are you doing?
That's what crotches are for.
You just, if anybody could see what I could see, then.
I'm standing. Standing.
Not like any normal person stand, that's for sure. Right, you're standing until you fall over. But
what are you insinuating?
You're not standing. You're balancing against the wall.
What are you incinerating?
Incinerating this podcast is what I'm doing. Right.
So, yes. Do we have anything?
Well.
What was?
That
what
makes.
Was that?
That was Will was running.
No, something just fell.
What? What do you mean fell?
Oh, that must have been the leaves.
Nothing.
Something just
fell. It's behind you. How can you see that?
I heard it. Something was falling.
It was so heavy.
It sounded like
what was that? That was
it
sounded like snowflakes don't make any noise.
Oh,
listen to the sound of the snowflakes. What? It sounded like a snowflake.
Sound. This is very small sound.
What do you mean very little? Snowflakes make very little sound. Actually, none at all.
Oh God, you know nothing about the world.
What? What do you mean?
So,
no,
are we going to talk some sense today?
No.
I'm all pumped up.
Right.
Yes, pumpkin.
Yes, backwards. Right. Hey, you know, slow progress is better than no progress. So we'll get there eventually.
Well, we
Right.
were supposed to have some masks on our faces today. Or
Oh, we were going to dress up.
were we? Well, we could have.
We could have done.
We should have done.
Damn, it's too late
You could
now.
have put Will's eyeball on your face. That thing is scary.
That's just a really weird thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will, don't run the car across there because it's really loud. You can do it anywhere else in the flat, but not there. Okay. Right. Are you tired?
I'm just yawning.
Yawny. The kids got masks yesterday, or costumes, or they came home with stuff. What was all that about?
They had crowns. Well, they wanted something Halloweeny, so I took them out and we got something Halloweeny. We had a place where we wanted to get some masks.
But they were sold out.
We ended up in a different place with some masks, and
it's very cryptic.
we got the eyeball for Will because he kind of liked the eyeball.
I don't understand how that works because it's got a big hole in the middle, but people's eyes are on
the sides.
On the sides.
You just have to peek through the hole.
But you can't because the hole's in the middle.
Oh, you had.
It's like the mask is designed for a person with one eye in the middle.
Or for an elephant, so you stick his trunk out and breathe.
That's just a really.
It is a bizarre mask, yes.
And the girls.
Because I put it on and my nose was like sticking out the hole in the middle. I'm like, I can't see it.
You're supposed to look through the nose. Yeah, and the girls didn't want to get anything Halloween because they were, they had witches' hats and bats and stuff, but they decided to take the crowns, the queen crown things.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I had a bit of a revelation about Halloween, actually. That there are obviously these differences in different cultures in the way people celebrate Halloween, but we all know it's essentially the same festival, the same kind of year that happens in all countries. And I was talking with a client about it, and I was trying to find a simplistic way of explaining the differences without monologuing for half an hour. And so in this part of the world, in the center and what side are we on? The eastern, center and eastern part of Europe, what happens is people go to meet the dead.
Yeah.
Right? But in the other Western cultures, what happens is the dead come to meet the living. Ta-da!
Well,
and that's my explanation of the differences.
Actually, originally, if you remember what I told you today,
I'm from London.
The Christians here in Slovakia believed that the dead came from the afterworld. At the
afterworld?
All Hallows Eve.
Is that like what?
The purgatory?
The afterworld. Is there a place called I've never heard of the afterworld before.
I just
heard of the underworld.
I just called it the afterworld.
You've just created a place.
Yes, and these dead people came from the purgatory, right?
You're doing your weird leg thing
because they were suffering in the purgatory all this time, and this is the only day that they can take a holiday and come up here and not suffer for a little while. So people would put out food for them and stuff, and so that so that they can eat something.
Distant voices of child in distress.
So that is finished pooping. Okay.
You've mentioned it again.
That's the reality, guys. That's the reality.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I just like to get through a podcast without mentioning the word. The word. No. I guess that's one of the things. Will, if you're not purposely trying to make as much noise as possible, then I don't know where I'm going with that. Yeah, chill. Enjoy the Halloween movie. What Halloween films do you watch with your kids? What Halloween films do you like? Do you even care about Halloween? Do you like to watch something scary? Check out the old Abbott and Costello films. They're great. The Invisible Man and Hold That Ghost and Will can't last 1 minute without making loud noises, can you, Will? This Will gets warning number 1 for banging the car off the thing, for waving the laminated alphabet, and then for screaming. Okay, he's done that in the space of about 2 minutes, even though he promised to be quiet. Can't do it. Oh, hello. Hello there. Are you stuffing your face? You know that when you're doing a podcast, it's not the ideal time to eat food because you're supposed to speak, right?
Yeah.
It's not like radio where they have advertisements and you can have a break for a couple of minutes. You kind of constantly have to go with the flow. Move, senor, jam the mic up, rocky disco. I haven't said that for a couple of weeks, so I thought I'd say that now.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, anyway, I wanted to say, just asking Will not to make any noises or not to move or jump around is like asking him to levitate, right?
I've tried asking him to levitate.
And did it work?
No, he couldn't do it.
Well, exactly. He can't do it. He can't not move. He can't not make any noise. He can't do extremely annoying things because it's just what he does.
He's saying that annoying is part of his personality.
No, annoying for you.
Are you saying that annoying for me is part of his personality?
Well, he is because he's a kinetic person. He needs to move all the time. All the time. He needs fidget toys. He needs to fidget. He needs to move things. He's the kinetic kind of learner, you know? When I used to read stories to them when they were little, Zora would sit down and listen, and Will would run and jump around the room like crazy, you know, off the beds and on the beds. But he was listening. But he can't listen while sitting down. He can't do anything while sitting down. He can't focus while sitting down.
Is that a boy thing or?
I don't know. It's his thing, definitely.
Because I've heard these stories that school. One of the reasons why school works better for girls than boys is that the boys have problems staying still. Whereas
I know about girls that are kinetic learners. Just a few days ago, my friend mentioned it to me. You know that she has a daughter, and she herself are both kinetic people, and they need to fidget with things all the time, like that skull that you said was a cat.
It is.
That I gave you.
It's a cat.
It's a skull.
It's a cat.
You're supposed to like
Will,
squeeze
do you know where the
it
skull
and
is? Go
press
get the
it
skull,
and
mate.
fidget with your hands with it.
Do you know where it is? Go get it. Where is it? It's a cat. It's
You're
not
wonderful.
a skull.
You just asked him a question and then didn't let him answer. Do you know where it is? Go get it.
Well, I waited for sort of the look on his face, and the look on his face was like,
I have no idea. Like that.
Is it not in the kitchen? The soft, squishy Halloween cat.
Skull.
Cat.
Skull.
It's a cat.
Skull.
Cat. See, she thinks it's a cat. Did you find it, Will? Has someone eaten it by mistake? Because it wasn't food.
Yeah, because we eat skulls and cats.
Is it on the couch?
Is it in your room somewhere? Does Jasmine know where it is?
No, he's crashed and burned in the middle of the living room there.
Yeah, it does that.
Yes. He's upside down on the carpet. I ask him to look for something, and the result is he ends up upside down with his feet in the air on the carpet in the middle of the room.
Of course he does.
Right. You know, monkeys have nothing on him. Right. I mean, put him in a zoo, and people would flock there to see him swinging from the trees. And
that's what I just told you. I mean, that's just Will. He's kinetic. He likes to move.
I bet you I could find it. I bet you I could walk into the kitchen and go, bang! There it is.
Yes, that's how he works.
Yeah. And now he's.
Do you know what my mother always
swinging
did?
From the hanging chair.
Do you know what my mother always did? She always, when I said I couldn't find something, she would always tell me, if I find it, then there's gonna be this and this and this consequence punishment thing.
Well, she threatened you because you couldn't find something, or she threatened you because
she threatened me
skills than you.
No, she threatened me because I wasn't
better observation.
Wasn't putting enough effort into finding something. Because it's easier. Because it's easier to just say I don't know where it is or I can't see it. Look properly.
Are you suggesting that Will's not been looking properly?
Well, he just went into the kitchen and had a look on the bench and didn't see it there, so he came back. Right? I mean, he
Not
could.
there.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't
You've got
look
to have
for
these
it,
kind of
actually find
peripheral
it.
observational skills, right? You can't just look in one place for
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Will, could you go and have another look? Yeah. You know, check the kitchen table and check above the microwave and
Check the shelves.
check next to the toaster and in the oven. No, it's probably not there. Right.
I don't feel very good today. I think it might have been the spaghetti yesterday, and
Was there something not
no,
great about
no, it wasn't. It was a lot of
it? You've got stomach ache problems.
not really stomach problems. A lot of pasta. I feel like I can't breathe.
Well, that's what pasta does. I mean, pasta doesn't, as far as I can work out, pasta provides almost no nutritional value that the human body actually needs.
Yeah, but you had nutritional sauce to go with it.
No, you missed the point. Pasta and spaghetti has almost no.
They have the same
It
nutritional.
has almost none of the necessary nutritional elements that the human body needs. It's just filler.
It does.
Nothing.
Contain.
They used to give it to sports people, saying, "Oh, it'll build up your energy," and it did the opposite. Right? It just makes sports people feel tired and lethargic. So they don't. That's why sports people don't eat it. They don't have pasta. They don't have spaghetti. They don't consume it.
Yeah, if you've noticed, I almost never do it. I only do it on very special occasions or very seldom. I only did it because I know kids love it.
Never.
Almost never. Means very seldom.
We're doing synonyms today. Lovely.
Yeah, so I'm going to yawn. I'm
What
going
is that
to
noise?
do weird things because then this
Tom.
it's my belly. Portable drum.
Portable drum. I see that.
Kids, I feel like I can't breathe properly.
Well, are you involved in this madness that's going on?
Yeah, he
They
is.
might be causing it. Yes. Anyway, right. It's a cat. And
Will get me a crown.
what?
A crown. A bigger one.
Why do you want a crown? Thank you very much, Will. What do you want the crown for? It's ugly.
Because I'm your queen. I'm going to wear it.
That's one of the ugliest things I've ever seen.
It's a crown.
It's a piece of plastic
It's a crown.
that has been shaped into a crown with butterflies on it. And
What can be more beautiful than a crown with butterflies on it and diamonds? Rubies that are pink.
A lot of things. The colors and the autumn trees.
Yes, darling?
Oh dear.
What did you figure out?
Here come the paints being held upside down.
What did you figure out?
Oh.
Oh, it's got a hook.
It's got a hook so that you can
Hook
put
it.
back on the shelf and sell it again.
Well done.
Hmm.
Well figured.
Good job. Good job. We can hang it. Yes. Good job. It's
It's beautiful.
this shit that people buy. I hope this was a gift, right? And that you actually spend money on this rubbish.
You're so negative.
I'm not negative.
You're negative.
I mean, I've got standards. It's not being negative.
You're so
Well, is
negative.
there something that we can help you with? As you're dancing around here in front of us again while we're doing the podcast.
Only if you help Zora to clear some space.
And only if you follow the general rules, which are...
No disturbances.
Yes.
Ja, natürlich.
Do not disturb the podcast. I don't know what that was. That was a weird voice.
It sounded like my stomach.
Yes?
That's what my stomach feels like.
Yeah. Looks full, sounds empty. That's weird.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a beautiful stomach.
There we go. It's a
beautiful full-bodied stomach.
Oh, wouldn't it be lovely?
Yep.
Right. And what else has been going on in the last 24 hours that we need to discuss? Not much. It was Halloween last night. Everybody went to bed early.
Yeah.
What was?
God, I went to bed like 9:30.
That was after the spaghetti. I reckon you ate the spaghetti and your body went need to process the food and everything shut down.
Probably. I also got a headache.
Yeah.
Yeah, last night I was like headache. Headache.
Can I say something? You're in like the weirdest position ever.
You stop analyzing my positions. Nobody can see anything weird.
Well, if you're watching the Facebook live streams, you get the point. If you're on the podcast, you can't see what she's doing. But be careful of the edge of the table. There, we wouldn't want it to catch on.
Oh please! Oh please!
The weird things lying around the place.
That's I believe that's a small Greek warrior.
Yeah, how do you know?
Because he's from the game with the Minotaur, and Minotaur was Greek, I believe.
I thought it was is it not like a Lego Star Wars character?
No, it was the Minotaur game that we had long time ago.
And no arms.
Somebody
Must
gave
be hard
it
to
to
get
us.
a six-pack.
Somebody gave it to us, and it's gone.
And he's smiling, which is pretty freaky.
Well, he's not afraid of the Minotaur. I wonder what happened to the Minotaur.
I don't. I wonder if you can find any more weird positions to stand in.
Sort of needs something from me.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah.
Does she?
Yeah,
No.
she keeps saying, "Mum, hurry up, Mum."
I think they're playing families in the kitchen.
No.
No?
I think she wants me to find her some brushes, paint brushes.
Well, is there anything special you'd like to discuss today, or shall we move on to something ridiculous?
I think we shall move on to something ridiculous.
Okay.
Completely.
Super.
Yeah. All I would like to discuss is just like to say something from my life today.
You sound drunk.
If you work something, I'm not drunk. I'm just tired.
She said, you met someone
Yeah.
who was drunk yesterday.
I wasn't sure if
He was
that
drunk
was-
or he's just weird.
or just really tired. Could have been any of those things. Could have just been in the same state like I'm now right now. You know, like one-word sentences and blurred speech.
Right? As you do.
Yeah. So, just my point from this morning. I've been working on translation for about a week, okay? And it was extremely easy and extremely short translation, only about like 7 pages. And I just
be an interesting story.
couldn't get through it, right? Because it was so
Boring.
freaking boring.
Why do you have to translate
bored
something?
my brain to
Why does
death.
somebody want something which is boring translated? Well, what is the point of
It's
that?
the website. It's just information about a company, right? And it was just killing my brain. It was horrible. And
It's just like the company was founded and
yeah, and I'm now moaning, right? I'm obviously now being a
you're moaning about having work.
spoiled
You're moaning
about
you're moaning about
but-
having a job.
yes, but it was just
That's insane.
I like my job. I like
It's not that you
translating.
have a job, it's that you get to work.
I like translating, okay? I translated about freaking welding equipment and I liked it more than this, okay? It's just so boring. Anyway, point
How
was...
isn't a company supposed to make themselves sound interesting?
It is probably interesting if you're in the automotive industry and you are looking for a external manager to help you out with your products, but it's not interesting if you're me. So I was
talking about businesses.
hard.
Here's a weird thing, right? So I had a discussion with a client yesterday, and we were talking about businesses and plans for the future, and they were talking about someone in their family, And they said, oh yeah, he's got his brand, he's got everything all sort of laid out and planned out. He just needs to find a business or something to sell. And I was like, what? How can you have a brand and your business all planned out and not have a product or anything to sell? I just thought that was weird.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe that's why you're
product or service.
No. And never mind.
What was that blog? The blog you sent me was think of your service as a product.
Yeah.
And then you can sell more.
Yeah.
Didn't like that very much. I thought that was cheating, actually.
Cheating?
Yeah. I thought that was cheating. What was I reading? Ryan Lee posted about accountability today, and I put it on my Facebook page. Yeah.
Okay.
That, he posted about coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying, don't confuse coaching with accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And that most people who say that they're coaching are actually only providing accountability. They're not actually coaching. I was thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I came to the conclusion that basically he's right.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Yeah, he is right, because he knows more about this stuff than other people. And he was talking about how coaching companies work.
Mm-hmm.
And how there's a big network set up, and they go through all this marketing, and they persuade you that they need coaching, and then these companies provide you with a personal coach.
Mm-hmm.
But the coach has no experience of running businesses or being in your industry.
Mm-hmm.
And the result is that this person provides accountability.
Mm-hmm.
They're just there to motivate the person to get to the next step,
mm-hmm.
rather than to actually coach the person to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And recognizing the difference between coaching a person with providing valuable feedback that allows the person to grow, and accountability, just checking that they've completed the steps they need to complete, is really important, because companies are wasting like $15,000 to $30,000 to $50,000 to $100,000, euros, whatever, a year on ineffective coaching, because it's just accountability masking itself as coaching.
Yeah, but wouldn't that if you've got a person who's at home in your field and basically telling you what to do to be better in your field,
there's a picnic going on over there.
Isn't it more like mentoring?
Well,
what is the difference between mentoring and coaching in this sense? We're talking about business coaching.
What is the difference between mentoring and coaching? I can give you my difference. I don't know if my difference is the same as what might be considered to be a real difference.
Yeah, what is your difference?
Well, I go into language, right? So a coach is a person who think about it in terms of sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in business it's a bit abstract. So let's what can you hold on to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think about it in terms of sports.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows what a coach does in terms of sport. So what would the difference between a coach and a mentor be in terms of sport, right? The coach would be about the technique, right?
Mm-hmm.
It would be about the techniques. It would be like, okay, if you're throwing a discus, right? It's going to be like spin this way, or increase your elevation, or work on these muscles or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the mentor, mente, is mind.
Mm-hmm.
So the coach is more we've just received a bunch of bananas. Not joking here. The things that happen during a podcast. Right. Wonder who these belong to. Put them back. Yeah. Right. This reminds me of Will's vocalizations of ghosts sounding like monkeys. Anyway, back to the point. So you asked, what's the difference between a mentor and a coach? And so mente being the mind. So your mentor is more about your psychological approach to it, and the coach is more about your physiological approach to it. So that would be my perspective on that. Okay. So there might be other perspectives that exist. I mean, what's your take on it?
I don't know. I asked the question because I don't know.
You haven't thought about it before.
No, but when you tell me, a coach, a personal coach for employees in a business, to me, it's like, okay, it's not about coaching them how to do their business because it's a personal coach for an employee, right? But it's about coaching them.
Laurel!
Hi.
Sorry.
To acquire certain personal traits or characteristics that will help them be more effective at work, right? So I imagine, a personal coach hired by a business that, like, take the coachee. Is that a word?
Well, coaching is Coaching is more about the skills, right?
I imagine.
Hope the family's okay. Like a career advisor. Says Laurel. Laurel says like a career advisor. What do you mean? A career advisor is a more coach or a mentor? You see, a career advisor would be more about if it's about you and your personal skills.
They should still be on the bench where you got them the first time.
Hello.
I'm sorry.
Hello.
She was asking me where the apples are.
Well, the apples are where the apples always are. Yes. They never move.
Well, yeah, I know, but she didn't know that.
Oh,
she can't find them.
They've moved from the football. It's amazing how things move around when you.
They're by the stove, darling.
What? Why are the apples by the stove and not in the football? Anyway,
not important.
Irrelevant. I just jumped in. Sorry. No, we like people who jump in. Yes, we enjoy it. We enjoy doing it to each other.
Yes, Zora just jumped in as well with her apples question, so that's perfectly fine.
Halloween candy. Oh my God.
What?
Yeah, there was a great post on Natural News.
You have to read everything you can see because I don't have my glasses on, so I don't know what you're talking about.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Right, but I'm not trying to. Oh dear, presentation skills. Right, presentation skills.
I'm working on them.
Yes. So, Laurel says that she's eating Halloween candy.
Ah, okay.
There was a great article on.
I made that pumpkin pie with the crust, and it was great. The crust didn't look very good because
the crust wasn't very big.
Well, it kind of shrank in the oven.
How can you make a pie?
Because I didn't have a pie tin. I didn't have a pie tin, right? So I had
pie tin.
Yeah.
Christmas list.
Yeah. Right. So I had to put it in a I
don't even know where you buy pie
a tray that I make my duck in or chicken, right? So I put it in the chicken tray. And because it wasn't a pie tin, the edges, you couldn't kind of hook the edges around the edge.
Why not?
Well, it just wasn't that kind of shape that I could do it with.
They're all the same shape, no?
Well, no, they're not because the pie tin is kind of sloped, but the chicken tray goes straight up. And when I tried to hook it, it just kind of cut
straight
through.
Up chicken trays.
And it doesn't matter. It shrank, but it still tastes great. Does it taste great?
Oh, that's what she just said. She just said it's all about the taste, not the presentation.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, and it tasted like gold.
It did look like a chicken.
That's positive, by the way.
But it tasted like gold. Yes, darling?
It did look like a chicken. She's right.
Raisin. Oh, God. She needs the raisins now.
To go with the apples. Apples and raisins.
Yeah, and to go with the bananas. The raisins you have to tell Will to find them for you. Okay? Yeah. Tell him Mommy says.
Oh look, there is actually a well-organized picnic there with the plates.
Oh yeah, she puts the raisins next to the apples on the plates.
And she's arranged it also. It's really nice.
She's very visually aesthetically person. That was almost the same.
She looks good. What?
Well, tell William they're in a big cupboard in the kitchen.
They're in the big.
Tell him to look in it and tell him to find them for you because it's very easy to say I don't know where they are.
Yes, he doesn't put much effort.
Yeah. So, coach, like a career advisor?
Yes. No. Well, Laurel says that Xander is super organized with his food too.
Wow.
That's nice.
Them kids are super organized. Zora always organizes things like puts animals in a row and the biggest to the smallest and stuff. But she must get it from him because
I put all the animals in a row from the biggest to the smallest as well.
Yeah, I did that with the sheep and the ducks and everything. No, he didn't. But yeah, because I
couldn't get any of my ducks in a row. They just kept running all over the garden. And we had a farm. Anyway, long time ago. Right. Order. Yeah. So does did your kids pick up order from you, or did they get it from somewhere else? Did they get it from like a play group or a nursery or from friends, or did they get it from the mother or the father? Or where does it come from?
That's a good question. Because our kids kind of don't really have anywhere to pick it up from.
Well, speak for yours.
I am speaking from myself.
Okay, from the two of us, who's more organized?
The neighbors.
The neighbors are not organized at all.
You are organized. I know, but that's what I'm saying. They don't grow up in your office. They grow up in the.
My office is now in the bedroom, so they do.
Yeah, well, they do now. But the first X many years, they kind of picked up the disorganization skills.
The disorganization skills. So you have to pick that up.
Yeah.
I'd like to learn how to be disorganized.
I'm pretty sure that I could market that actually.
Yeah, you could be a clutterer. Like people are declutterers.
Yeah.
You could be a clutterer.
Yeah.
A professional clutterer.
I'll teach you how to keep your desk messy.
What? Desk messy?
Yeah.
I don't want that.
No?
No, you have to find somebody else.
Okay.
Right. Breakfast is all over the floor. So much for being organized. Okay, there you go. That's what happens when you've got kids. Have a great day. Right. Back to coaching and mentoring. And feel free to write anything in the chat at any point in time. We will we will try to respond to things as they're happening. So you asked about coach and mentor, right? So coach much more about the physical approach to things, and mentor much more about the mental approach to things. And that's the way I see it. I think there's a lot of bull out there about about more specific roles that these people take on, but I think it's really that simple.
But what I was trying to say is that I wouldn't view a coach, a personal coach that business hires for their certain employees, like for their managers, say, okay? I would, from my completely uninvolved point of view, I would imagine something like a person who helps you develop your personal characteristics to make you more effective in your business, but not necessarily business-related skills, right? Because you pick up your business-related skills from people that know about business, like you're in automotive industry, right? So you pick up your skills from people who are in the same industry, who know about the stuff, who know about the business. But you need to, I don't know, maybe be more resilient as a personal trait. So you get a personal coach who recognizes that more resilience would help you in your business, and they will take you and they will coach you, not related to the business, but related to your personality. I don't know, like throw you in a frozen lake, or I don't know, you know what I mean? Get you walking over some hot coals, or throw flamethrowers at you or something. Yeah, but you understand what I'm talking about, right? That they would not teach you how to do business, but they would help you to grow and to develop personal skills, characteristics that you need to work on.
Yeah, the question is, how is walking over hot coals gonna help you in your business?
That was just an example.
I know, I get it. I know it's just an example, but it's a good example.
Okay, for example, let's say somebody is a really good in their field, right? A really great specialist who knows a lot, but they have a problem with public speech, right? They are very scared. They have a phobia from public speaking. And
wait. What's happening, Jazzy? Oh, look at that. It's a beautiful picture.
I will help you off your potty in just a jiffy. I'll just finish my sentence, okay? So the personal coach would recognize that this person should learn how to overcome their fear of public speaking, because then they could
that's not a coach, that's a mentor.
represent the company or whatever, and he'll take the person and he'll help them overcome the fear, and they work with them to get better at this particular thing. But it's not, the coach doesn't know anything about automobiles, right?
Automobiles, you mean cars?
Cars. But
moving carriages.
Horseless carriages.
Horseless carriages, that's the one.
Yeah. So, but they know how to help people develop the personal traits, the strength or the courage or whatever they need. I'm going to do that, and you continue.
Yeah. I'm going to talk a little bit about this mentoring coaching thing, because I think it's all overplayed, right? As I said, mente is mind, and the coach is the physical skills and the mental skills. It's two different ways to look at it. So a coach is someone who's going to help you with your technique, and a mentor is someone who's going to help you with your vision, essentially. Now, the person helping you with your technique is usually just small adjustments here and there. So it's usually a short-term relationship. The mentor is someone who wants to be working with you over a longer period of time, I think. The mentoring is more, I think, long-term career development, where the coach will help you with specific tasks, as far as I see it anyway. So, when I think about my work, it's the difference between the mental skills and the physical skills, right? So my work is much more mentoring than it is actually coaching, but people don't understand that. People don't understand that they need a mentor. They don't know what it is, so that's why it has to be marketed as a coach, because you have to sell people what they understand, because you can't sell people something that they don't really comprehend, because they don't know why they need it. So you have to work with.
I get it.
You work a little bit with what.
So do you offer business coaching as well?
Yes.
And what kind of businesses do you have a special type of businesses that you focus on, or is it just?
Well, I just said that I do mentoring more than coaching. So I mean, that's what when you say, do I do business coaching? Yes, but it's mentoring, because people don't understand that. It's growth mindset training.
Okay.
Which is the first thing to do is to analyze problems that exist. Yeah, you have to look for unclear patterns or illogical processes, the fallacies, and then you break down the fallacies and try to explain why what a person's doing is not constructive and productive, and then put in place a different order of doing things, or an order of thinking about things, in order in order to have a different result, right? If you want a different result, you need to have a different process.
You have to do something else, yeah.
Yeah, you need to have a different process. So it's about applying a different process. Unfortunately, this requires time and can only be done by the person themselves.
Yeah.
And so you can't really control the words that come out of somebody else's mouth, right? You can only explain to them what they need to use when they need to use it, and it's up to them to go away and work on it in their own time.
Do you use anything like any kind of recording for the person's own purposes, like writing a journal, or
I recommend audio recording. It's much easier than writing a journal, and people can do it while they're driving their car, or and it's easy to listen back to. It takes less time. People are under a lot of time pressure, so most people have in their mobile phone some kind of application that will allow them to record.
Do you
things.
recommend that as a part of self-reflection or something, or? Or do you offer?
The kids are back again. What's up?
Yeah, I don't know.
They need you to wash the cups.
Guys, there are 2 clean cups in the drawer. Can you go
There's
get the
only
2
one.
clean
There's
cups?
There's
Well,
not. There's
did
not.
you? Is this one of them that you used?
That is one of the 2, so therefore there is only one.
Okay, Zora, can you rinse it in the bathroom sink? Sweetie.
Ba, ba, ba.
Sorry.
See.
Can you rinse it in the bathroom sink? You can reach.
Do, 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 do. Right, all these things
Coaching,
going on
see?
in the
Coaching.
background. Right. Yeah, it's one of those questions. How much, especially with parents and kids, how much do you guide them, and how much do you? Oh, it's just that's a bottle of water all over the carpet there. I think.
Yeah, did you spill?
Yes. Is it wet, darling?
Good,
Oh,
good.
luckily
Just
it's-
wait for Zora to bring the cup back,
It's got
okay?
no top on the bottle. Bottle's got no top on it, so it's.
It also has about 3 milliliters of water in it, but never mind.
Do you want us to hold the bottle for you, darling? Do you want to put it here? You want us to hold it for you? Oh, how are you going? Okay. Technology, absolutely.
Oh, she's so clever sometimes.
It's very can't think of the word. It escapes me. What's the-
Eloquent.
Eloquent. We just invented a word. Eloquacious. Eloquacious. There we go.
I'm good at that. I told you that's my superpower. Invent words.
Oh, somebody asked me yesterday. I do the reversal thing with questions, like to find out what is on the student's mind, or on the client's mind, instead of me asking them questions.
You
I
get
ask, I'm like, what would you like to know about me, so that I can see in their mind what's interesting for them.
So what did they ask you?
And it's a great way to. I recommend flipping that situation. Yeah, like they do in interviews. Like, is there any question that you'd like to ask us?
Yeah.
It's like it's like open. It's an open question. You can ask anything. What ask me anything. What would you like to know?
What's
Like,
that on your face? No.
Foo,
Sorry.
spelled F-U.
Yeah.
Right. Picked up by the kids very quickly. Another classic mistake. There we go. Yeah, the question was, if you were a superhero, which superhero would you be? That was what one of the clients asked me.
What did you choose?
Well, I gave a really boring answer, saying that that I think all the superheroes have problems, right? So I don't really want to be a superhero and take on those responsibilities, have those powers and those problems. And it doesn't matter which superpower you have. Like if you're Spider-Man, but you can't talk to girls, right? You're usually shy, right? You can't talk to girls. You're Batman, but you've got this really dark side that you can't discuss with anybody.
You're Superman, but there's a guy after you with a kryptonite in their hand.
Well, that's not a personal issue. So,
Why is
that's
it?
just the guy after you.
Oh, you don't know your real parents, for example, right? Because Superman was
Well, you can't have kids. You can't have kids because you get this, like, the embryo would be bursting out of Lois Lane's stomach, right? Because it would be super baby.
Would it?
So.
I didn't think about that.
So,
my embryo was bursted out of my stomach.
Well, you've got that, the female character in the Avengers, right? She can't have kids because she was sterilized during her training.
Who was?
Right. What do you call the female character?
The Black Widow.
Is that what she's called? I don't know what she's called.
I think so.
Anyway.
The Russian woman. She's got like a Russian name, doesn't she?
Yeah, be careful. One of the legs on the bottle, I've just poked it in by mistake.
Yeah, it might topple over.
Yeah.
Natasha something, I don't know.
Whatever, right.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't actually take on
Romanov.
Yeah, I think that's her name. Yeah. So they've all got really horrible personal problems. So I wouldn't want to be any of those characters and have any of those.
What about Tony
powers.
Stark? That's pretty cool. Well, he doesn't really have a superpower, but he's got the brain. It's pretty super.
Oh no, excuse me. Father issues, right? Bad relationship with his father. Doesn't disconnected, not really understanding things that well. What else?
Nothing new then, eh?
Oh, Batman's parents. Batman's parents were killed as well. You know, they've all got. They all come from dark backgrounds, right? Broken families.
Of
And
course. How about Hulk?
he's just green.
Yeah, you wouldn't want that.
He's green, and you know, well, he's got emotional issues, hasn't he? I mean, that's what.
He's green.
Well,
he's got anger management issues.
Yeah, he can't control his anger.
Well, that's nothing new either. So.
Yeah, but you don't want to. You know, these. They try to use these powers. You would
turn green every time Will fidgeted. You'd feel like changing in front of the monitor like every 5 minutes.
It's Halloween. I'm turning green. It's a really good kids book. Anyway, what's that author's name? Dan Gutman.
Yes,
something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gutman.
You've done it again, right?
What? I just pronounced his name correctly.
Is that what it is?
Gutman.
I don't know. I really don't know. I thought it was Gutman, but.
Well, why would you suddenly decide to pronounce you as an U?
Because I am wanting to get out the German side of me.
Obviously.
Oh dear.
I didn't know you had a German side.
All Britons do. Because that's where they came from originally. The ones that weren't Vikings, or Celts, or Picts, or Angles, or Egyptians. He lost British history. Anyway.
Or aliens. Some of you.
Okay, so some people do look a bit weird, but that doesn't mean they.
Scotland, they do. That was horrible of you. Talking to myself here.
You just insulted.
Yeah, I did. I don't do that. I'm picking
an entire country has been insulted. Excellent.
Pick it up from him because he does that all the time, and it just kind of sticks.
What is she talking about? Does anybody know? Does anybody care? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Which was
this is really not true.
It's not true at all. It does a lot of invisible damage. There's a bird again. Yeah. Oh, you missed it.
Oh.
It's a bird with a yellow chest comes and flies up and sits on it.
It's called green tit.
There it is.
Oh, yeah, that's a tit. That's a great tit. I think it's called a great tit. It is.
So we already had this conversation, right? Where I was like, there were these birds called tits. It used to crack me up when I was a kid. I'd go, look at the tits in the garden.
It still cracks you up, obviously. It is called tit, and I think it's called great tit as well.
It does, because it's like having a bird called vagina, right?
No, it's not, because tits are not a biological name for breasts. It's just something somebody invented.
Well, it's slang, isn't it?
It's slang. Vagina is not slang. That's the actual name of the body part. It's like saying that a hand.
I agree with you, actually. I take that back.
Right?
I walk that back and say that I was incorrect.
It would be weird if the bird was called
Fanny.
Yeah.
Look at all those fannies. Oh no, how childish.
So immature. Horrible. Horrible.
Sorry. I mean, but it would be like, I mean, it's kind of surprising that there's not a bird called the Richard or something.
If you want to have more tits on the balcony,
Stop it.
You just have to put some food out for them. And I'll be here every day.
And the balcony will be covered in bird POOP. Right.
Probably.
Although we could actually get some of those. You know, I was wondering, like those bird nut things. Is that good or is that cruel?
What?
Like those things, the bird feeder things, right?
Yeah. Why
I saw some post saying it's cruel because the birds can't actually get at the food properly.
What?
It's not true. I don't know. I'm not a bird. I've never tried to eat food out of a cage.
That's BS because I mean, look at your parents, right?
They've tried to eat food out of a cage.
They've got so many many of the bird feeders in their garden, right? And they have to refill them like once a week or maybe even twice a week because the food all gets eaten by the birds. So if the birds couldn't get at the food...
Jazzy's got the hand puppet on. She's feeding the apple with the sticker on it to the hand puppet.
Okay. So if the birds couldn't get to the food, then your parents wouldn't have to refill like twice a week, right? It all gets devoured by the birds. So they always can get to the food.
So it's actually good for the birds.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know.
Or you can do the fat balls.
Stop it! What?
You get fat. You get fat.
You get fat. Da da da! By eating too much.
And you mix it with bird seed, and you make balls. You create a ball out of it.
Then you get fat. Where'd you get it from?
Like lard or I don't know what you call it in English.
What do you do with the balls then? So you get fat, right?
You make a ball or some kind of shape, and you hang it on a string.
Okay, you get fat and you mix it with bird food, bird seed, and you make it into a ball, and then you hang it.
Yes.
Does it not melt?
No, because it's freaking -5 out there.
Yeah, but on a warm day when the sun comes out, does it not just go and just fall down?
Well, not usually in the winter now.
No. Okay.
And you don't have them out in the summer, obviously.
The birds don't get pissed off going, there's too much fat here.
No, the tits actually like the fat. It keeps them warm in the winter. It helps them keep warm in the winter. Yeah.
Yeah?
I used to do, when we lived in Rastoka, I used to
eat nuts and fat.
Huh?
No, okay,
No.
Sorry.
I used to put out, like, when you've got bacon, right? And you eat the bacon, and you get the skin left with a little bit of bacon on it still, because you can't get all of it off.
Oh, it's the skin.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
used
Slovak thing, right?
I used to put out the skin, and the birds would get at it, and they would just peck off all the bits and pieces of bacon that stayed on the skin.
And they were happy.
They love it.
Yeah.
Tits are actually carnivores. I'm going to repeat that word until they get over it.
It's not that. It's the whole sentence. When I woke up this morning, I never imagined that I'd be listening to the fact that tits are all carnivores, but
so yeah.
I guess meat is meat.
I mean, if you think about it, they eat worms and flies and bugs and things. So may as well eat bacon.
Yeah. Okay. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? They're happy the birds are not bigger. Right? that would be kind of scary. So so I do offer what I sell as coaching, but it is in fact actually mentoring, and it's not just accountability. Right. In fact, I don't even think that I cover accountability, because it's not my job to tell somebody what they haven't done. Right. It's really not. I mean, that's if I have to tell somebody what they haven't done, we're not getting very far. Right. It's like because when I set someone tasks to do, and if they come back to me and they haven't done the tasks, I don't focus on it at all. I just move on, because they don't need me to tell them that they haven't done the tasks. Yeah,
but does it make any sense for you to continue teaching them if they don't do their jobs? I mean, if they're sabotaging their own progress, basically.
It slows down the process of development. It gets frustrating after a period of time, and I usually drop the client or suggest that they go somewhere else, or recommend that they try a different system or a different approach, because I don't want to waste my time, and I don't want to waste their time either. So I try to persuade them that there are other ways to go. Yeah, and I don't want to waste my time with someone who's not really interested. And it's not about the money, as I've explained to clients before. Paying me more is not actually going to get more from me.
Yeah,
it's not, because what you get is kind of what you see, right? You all right there? Sneezing away. Sneezy.
Excuse me.
Sneezy. Sneezy. So, yeah, because there's like the teacher, tutor, coach, mentor are sort of the areas cross over.
Mm-hmm.
They don't perform exactly the same kind of job. I mean, you don't have a sports teacher, you have a sports coach, right? So you got to think about it.
I would just take the word teacher and remove it from the English vocabulary completely.
I'd take teachers and remove them from the whole process of learning completely.
Because you can't teach anything. Right?
But teaching is independent of learning. That's what people don't understand.
Mm.
So the learning very often takes place with absolutely no teacher present.
Yeah. You can't. My take on things is you can't teach anyone anything. You can help them learn, right? So if somebody wants to learn, you can help them by explaining things they understand, or by providing accountability, by telling them what to do to get better.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't teach them. You can't pour it into their head, right? So the whole teacher and teach thing, I would just remove those words.
Well, here's what it is.
I can do that because I can create new words, so I have the right to remove words as well.
Clever. Well, imagine the sculptor and the sculpture, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the teacher and the student, right?
No, because if the sculptor doesn't want to get sculpted,
it doesn't make any difference because the system is still there.
But it's wrong.
Yes,
it's
it doesn't
wrong.
Make any difference.
Because that shouldn't work like that. I mean, it works like that in a negative way.
It works, but in a negative way. Therefore, it doesn't work.
No, I mean, yeah, a teacher can completely F up somebody, right?
Yes, it happens.
Psychologically, not connected to teaching at all, right?
That happens.
But positively, they can't affect the person unless the person wants to get affected. I haven't met anybody who.
If you stand up like a nail, you will be knocked down. Welcome to the system, right? The constant hammering on the student does have an effect over a long period of time.
Take me, okay? So a perfect example.
Pick me.
Take me, right? I mean, I had great teachers. I had one great teacher who taught me a lot. I was
just one.
But I was the child that was always interested in everything. Okay, I wanted to know more about everything. I was like Will, right?
Right.
I wanted to know more about everything. I loved teaching. I loved reading books, and I loved reading all sorts of books, right? Encyclopedias. It didn't matter whether it was history or biology or whatever. I just loved acquiring more information, right?
Did you ever read manuals?
Yes, I read everything I could get my hands on, honestly. If you could read it, I read it. Okay? If there were leaflets, I would read them, just everyththing. And
you were just like a all-devouring monster.
Yes,
right?
I was. Information devourer.
Bookworm.
And my best teacher ever, what he did was, he just let me learn.
He got out of your way.
He just let me learn, right?
He got out of your way.
He wouldn't say, don't tell me this, because this is not what was in the textbook, right? He would just get out of the way, and he would just, okay, good, well done. If I had something completely off that I remembered about or whatever, and I said it, he'd be like, cool, you know that. And he would encourage me, right?
Yeah, he was probably fired.
He was too old. He was fired.
Okay.
He was already like 10 years past his retirement age. But he was really good, and
A fossil in the system.
yeah, and he'd give me the opportunity to speak when I wanted to speak, you know. Because you've got teachers that, you know, if somebody raises their hand and wants to speak, you've got teachers that would go like, oh, I know she knows that, but I'm going to get somebody else to speak because I'm pretty sure that he has no idea what we're talking about, so I'm going to get him to speak to prove to myself the point that he has no idea what we're talking about, right? Which is completely like, oh, I don't know why they do that, but they did that when I was a kid.
It's ego, isn't it?
Yeah, and this guy was like, okay, you know that, great, tell us. Right? You wouldn't pick other people who obviously didn't know what we were talking about, because what's the point? So
yeah, well, you either know and you can use the information, or you don't know and you still have to learn it.
And the worst teacher I ever had was a bully. It's a complete bully who would do exactly the opposite, basically. You know,
bullies don't make for good teachers, really.
She would pick students that she knew wouldn't know the answer, ridicule them in front of the class. You know,
she was ready to kill them.
Ridicule.
Oh, okay, ridicule. Probably felt like the same thing.
Probably, yes. She would yell. She'd yell so loud that we were so scared. I've never been so scared in my life, right?
She would have been good at Halloween.
Okay, now. Sorry. But yes, she would have. Her face didn't have the color of that pumpkin over there. So,
big pumpkin-headed teacher.
Oh God, she was terrifying, honestly. Yeah. And the most terrifying thing she could do was to get you out of the class and speak to you in private. It was just terrifying.
I had a couple of those teachers who wanted to do that, and it was never positive.
Never. It was like, come to my, what they call it, cabinet in Slovak. What did they call it?
Step into my closet.
Yeah. What do they call it in your, like...
Come into the cupboard with me.
To my teacher's room. You know, where she had all the things that she stored for.
Oh, yeah. It would be like a...
Whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called.
Storage room, a small storage room.
Just a little small room behind the classroom, basically, where she kept her stuff.
Okay.
Oh, it's just not good.
Yeah, but the teachers can't do that now because they can't be on a one-to-one. They can't be in a one-to-one space with the student because you never know what's going to happen.
Well, they can in Slovakia.
Well, Slovakia is a little bit more down to earth, where people respect each other's space, right? The rest of the world has gone to, I don't know where they've gone. They've just I don't know where it's disappeared to, but everyone's tiptoeing around in fear, saying, "Oh, you can't use this word, you can't use that word. We have to have spaces and be careful about people's feelings." And I'm fuck that.
Nobody would dare accusing her of anything. Okay, she's so terrifying. You just wanted to have as little to do with her as possible.
Yeah, but the truth is that those that are terrifying are truly terrified themselves. That's the reason why they're terrifying, because they're in that mode of thinking and they don't know what else to do, how else to act or react. It's the only thing that they know, and it's the only way that they understand control. And they have to be in control, and they've got one method, and that's it. So those that are terrifying are terrified the same way that those that are bullying have been bullied.
Well, her method of control, as you said, was physical violence. She would be physically violent against her own child, which I've witnessed several times when I was a kid. And because her kid was 1 year younger than us, you know, so we knew him. And
have you seen that cartoon where Batman is slapping Robin? Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I have, but I forgot about the.
Yeah, it's like, how's that working out for you now? And like Batman is like slapping Robin, and it's like you're saying to him, like, you know, how's the spanking working out for you now? How's the force? How does it feel now when he does it when Batman does a troll. Anyway, it just reminded me of that cartoon.
Yeah. She did. She was physically violent against her child, and she couldn't do that with us because we were students. So what she did was, the only less violent thing she could think of was just being terrified.
Yeah, you've got nowhere else to go, have you? I mean, when you're at that point as a teacher, if you think about if things get worse, if things escalate, where do you go? And you've got nowhere. You've got no room to maneuver.
You can just yell louder.
That's it. And the louder you yell, the less your message gets across.
Yeah.
Or the less any sense gets across. You convey a message, but it has no real logic or sense.
Yeah, that person definitely did have a big anger management issue, and probably something even more deeply.
How do these people how do these people survive in those kind of environments without how can they even hold their jobs?
I don't know how. She must have hated that job.
Well, obviously. I mean, she obviously hated going to work. Right?
She must have hated that job.
I mean, I had a student last year whose parents had to write. The parents of all the students had to write letters to the school complaining that the math teacher couldn't teach maths. And the school kept this person employed in their job even though they had zero skills and the students learned nothing. I mean, where's the logic in that? Where's the logic in that? You can't fire. If someone doesn't do the job, they're out. That's it. And who are the customers, right? If the customers say, we don't want this, the customers are the students and the parents. And their voices individually and collectively are far more powerful. So the idea that teachers can stay in their position when they're not performing their role is kind of insane. And if it's not working out, they should just step away from it anyway.
I just don't understand why none of the parents did anything. None of the parents did anything.
They're okay. Number one, they're not interested. They're really not interested. Number
two, they probably think it's normal. And
they don't want to go down. They don't want to put the time and energy into it. Their investment is not large enough for them to worry about it, right? Think about it in terms of if you invest a large amount of money into a company and the company starts to fail, you begin to want to do something about things so you don't lose your investment, right? But parents who are not acting on issues that are obviously problems, they really have no investment. They have no investment.
Obviously the investment is huge because they're investing their child's future, right? I mean, that's a huge investment.
But I'm saying they're not. They're just acting like they are. They're not really. It's just an act.
They are.
The whole world's a stage, and parents are in with their hands-off approach to education. They're just acting.
I mean, I know a lot of parents who would do something about the situation like that. Okay.
They can't do anything because.
But back then, I don't know if it was because it was just after, it was like 1 year after the revolution, right?
This country was in chaos. Everyone was scrambling for jobs and positions and seeing how much
and people had other things to do, and people were still used to the fact that teachers are the bosses because they're the employees of the state, and you don't want to go against the employees of the state. You don't want to go against the state because boo boo boo, right? So that might have something to do.
People died when they went against the state before, didn't they? They thought they disappeared.
Maybe they were just scared. Maybe they were just too used to the fact that this is how state works, and we don't have the right to complain about anything. Maybe they were used to the fact that every business or every institution offers the same quality of service.
Shit.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe it was something to do with, probably was something to do with that. Now now you've got parents of my generation,
Mhm.
are parents, they understand that they are actually clients, so they're willing to
Mhm. I had this horrible vision the other day as I was going through town, because
Mhm.
the local elections are happening,
Oh God.
right?
Mhm.
And everywhere you look, and I mean everywhere, I mean every wall, every notice board, every magazine, every newspaper, every space has
This much.
is it?
I removed a pile
Of papers down
this big
from the mailbox.
from the mailbox, and that accumulated in
Like
about
an
4
inch.
days.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just couldn't get away from that 1984 sort of big brother, big face on the screen,
Mhm.
instructing people what to do. Everywhere you looked, there was just a big head. There was somebody's giant head
I know.
somewhere
I know.
looking.
Every
And
time there's an election,
was-
it's like that.
And
And it just
it's
gets on my nerves
every single
so
place.
much.
I mean,
Yeah.
you turn 90 degrees, there's another giant head staring at you. You turn
Yeah.
90 degrees, another giant
They
head.
all look the same, only a slightly different features, but
And
they're all like,
But what kind of? I mean, I've been involved in events promotion and things, right? But I've never like overdone it.
it's
right?
brutally aggressive.
I mean, this is
It's aggressive marketing.
the size of these billboards. I mean, it's one thing to like have something twice the size. These people's heads.
They're massive. I know.
It's like we've got like this big window and door onto the balcony
And it's
here,
a
and the heads are
war.
bigger than the windows and doors onto
It's
the
a
balcony.
war. It's a war on the social media. It's a war everywhere. You've got people saying, if you don't vote for this person, you're a fascist. And you've got another group of people saying, if you don't vote for this person, you're a fascist. And they're like, you're a horrible person if you don't want to go and vote. You know, you're a horrible person if you stay at home. You're just a generally horrible person, right? Because you can
Just horrible, whatever.
You can never please everybody, and it's a war. And it's like, the candidates pointing fingers and going, oh, but he runs a business that had a low quality product, and the other goes, oh, but 10 years ago he said this and that, and they're like, who freaking cares? Just freaking
I just find it scary that it was just giant heads
yeah,
on posters and billboards.
and they don't even tell
everywhere.
you anything because they've got these rules.
There's no information. It's just a giant head and a number.
But they have these ridiculous rules, right? Like when you're running for a
head,
post,
a name, and a number.
you're only allowed to have your number and your name and a head and a slogan of 10 words maximum or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they just have stupid things written on, like for the people or
going forward
or more beer or
against the
tyranny.
Yeah.
And
change is good.
Oh God! And then you got these underground posters, right? That people put around the
Underground.
The counter campaigns. The counter campaigns, like they'll put something on, which is generally like against a candidate, but not openly, just covertly, so that everybody understands what it's saying, but the candidate's face is not on it or his name is not on it. It's just a suggestion, right? Like, let's not become fascists, right? And it doesn't give you any names, but you know exactly what it's saying and who's it against, right? For example, I just made that up, but you can see these things, especially when it's bigger election, when it's like a parliament or president or whatever. That's a dirty game. It just gets on my nerves, and the heads definitely get on my nerves. The faces.
Here's my point. Here's my point, right? The amount of money that must get spent.
Oh, don't even go there.
Just on like one giant billboard. I mean, you've got kids in the local hospitals that are got no toys and no family and dying because they haven't got the right medicines and machines to keep them alive, everybody's climbing over the top of each other like zombies to be the zombie on top, the zombie head on top, which
That's disgusting.
repeats the same stuff that everyone else
That's
repeats and
disgusting.
thinks they know what's right for everybody when they have got absolutely no idea what's right for everybody, because nobody could know what's right for everybody.
And the disabled people have to beg. Disabled people have to beg on beg on social media so that they have enough money to be able to afford a freaking wheelchair. Because they get like I don't know, 80 euros per month from the government, right? And they're supposed to like, hey, get everything that you need.
Yeah, well, that's a different issue there. But my point is that surely the investment could be slightly more intelligently orientated.
Can you imagine a political campaign, right, which wouldn't spend money on any billboards, no billboards, no pictures, right, no stupid stupid performances in the middle of the square talking about what you're going to do. All that this person would do is take all the money spent that would otherwise get spent on the campaign and put them where they should go to. Wouldn't that be a much more powerful campaign than putting out posters? And people?
Well, normal people are not going to get involved because I know a few of the candidates, right? Not very well, but in my work I've crossed paths with them, and they're not bad people, but they're not living in the real world, right? At all. They're not living in the real world at all, because
I know people. I know what you mean. I know people who are very clever and very successful, but not living in the real world.
Yeah, they've got these ideas about how everything should be and how they're going to make everything better, and I get that. Democracy, all about involvement. It's it's just insanity. It's just chaos. It's just.
Do you know how when you've got a poor person, right? And you
don't have one here. Me.
Take yourself.
Take myself. Okay.
Take yourself. And if I like we talked about those houses before.
Okay, 5-minute warning.
And we were like, we mentioned somebody's earning this much money, right? Imagine somebody's
We talked about those houses before. What houses? Wait a minute.
The houses. We talked about the houses and how much people have to earn so that they can afford.
Those houses.
Those houses, right?
Catch up with the previous podcast.
I mean, we're like, okay, you have to earn this much money. You have to have this kind of an annual revenue, blah blah blah. And these are numbers that you can't even grasp mentally, right? These are numbers that I cannot even mentally grasp. Like I have nothing to compare them to, right? In my previous experience. I understand.
It's the Lewis House principle. It's like it's what it's the $10,000 an hour coaching.
I wasn't finished.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to jump in there.
I wanted
to add to what you're saying, but I didn't.
So I mean, if you are used to different kind of numbers, right? If you're used to thinking in like 100, 200 euros, right? Because you know what that is. You're not thinking like 100,000 here and 100,000 there. So you can't even consciously really, compare it to anything, like really grasp how much money that is. The same principle applies the other way around. So when you've got a person who lives their entire life thinking in big numbers and working with big numbers and earning big numbers, they have no idea what I think they cannot.
You just scared her away.
Yeah, I think that they cannot fully grasp and understand what it is to live from 600 a month. I don't think they can. Which is 700 a month.
They can't because very often they can take a day off and they can make more in that day off. Not that they don't deserve it, right? I'm not in any way attacking them. I'm just saying that it's a different world.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They don't.
Hi, darling. What's the issue?
they live in a different world. They look at completely different numbers. They buy different products. They just, you know, it's like they live in a different reality from your reality. So I don't think. I saw a different reality, yes. I don't think that they can grasp the problems that people at the bottom have, just like the people at the bottom cannot mentally grasp the amount of money that the people on top are making. I think that empathy just doesn't work that far. You know what I mean? If they haven't been there, if they've never tried to survive on 500 a month, then they can't understand.
And that's a failure of the parenting. Because the parents should be able to present to their children a fair view of the world and how it works from many different sides, from many different facets. There are many ways to. I think people should. Everything.
I think people should. My favorite word.
Should.
People should. You know, young people are curious. They should be what you call it, encouraged in trying to find out what different kinds of lives are. You know, they should try and be homeless for a few days, just to see, you know, what it's like. Just to be able to step into somebody else's shoes.
No, you see, that doesn't work. Right? That doesn't work because you can't.
Yeah, you can't when you still have somewhere to come back to. I know you can't really.
You can't. You can't. It doesn't. You can't experience it at all. There's no way. You can't. You can't take someone who has and put them into the world of someone who hasn't. It just doesn't exist because the body's there.
Yeah,
but the mind is not processing things in the same way.
I understand. So well, actually, you can.
You can't. It's impossible. You can't. Otherwise, the problem. It would be much easier to solve the problem. You just mix the haves and the have-nots together, and society would blossom and be perfect. But the opposite would happen. Right? Society would just fall apart if you did that. I mean that's what socialism is.
I'm not saying that you should mix them forever. I'm just saying that the experience might be good for the people who have. To experience.
They can't experience it because the experience is mental, and they can't put themselves mentally in that position. It can't be done. You can be there physically. You can be lying under the bridge physically, but mentally you're not in the same place.
I was close.
It's impossible.
I was close to that when I went to Britain, and I had no way of coming back.
Yeah, well, you're not much further on now, are you?
No, but you know what? Well.
Right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. That's what she was trying to tell us. Well, there you go. Jazzy's, Will, you want to come over here and talk to us a little bit about what happened? Wait a sec. I'll tell you what to do. I got the mic here. Bring the stool over. Bring the stool over. That's it. Good muscles, man. Beware of the cables there. Bring the stool over. Okay. And can you? Yeah. Just stand on it. Stand on it. Come up here. That's it. Okay. You're gonna have to. No, you're not high enough. You have to stand up, Will.
Stand on it.
Stand up with your feet like where they are now. Yeah. Come on. Focus. Focus. One foot on either side. And stand up. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the camera can see me all right when I'm sitting down.
Yes, but your head's far too low. Right? Aesthetics.
I can't stand up like this for much longer.
What's wrong with your legs? Why can't you stand up?
I would be able to stand up properly if my legs
were Look, you look like a dwarf. All we can see is your head.
Yeah, but I can't stand up straight for much long and...
You can't stand up. You can't...
I can't stand up for very long with my knees bent because this is stopping my knees from being straight.
Can you crouch on top here? Can you stand on the top part and crouch? We'll experiment. Come on. Stand on the top of the stool. You're going to be doing. Welcome to live madness. Crouch down on top. Look, you can crouch like that, right? You can do that for about a minute. Is that okay? You can hold on to my shoulder if you need to hold on to something. First thing I have to do is put this mic on you. So I'll hook around like this down the back and over your ears. There we go. And I'll put this cable around here. Let's put your arm under here. Okay. Okay. Look, you hold on to me, right? Don't grab the cable, Will. You're pulling the cable down my back. With my shoulder. Put your hand on my shoulder. You're pulling the cable down my back. Okay, there we go. Right. So, explain to us the disaster that happened while we were doing the podcast.
Jazzy pooped on Zora's bed, and her dirt nearly got onto my tablet. Plus,
But she wasn't wearing a nappy.
And then she sat.
Was she wearing a nappy? She wasn't wearing a nappy, right?
I didn't see her wearing a nappy, and then and after she pooped on that bed, she sat on my bed.
Oh, so it was like a
two-bed disaster.
yeah, like a double bedding. Yeah, double bedding. Okay, wow. I think that's what she was trying to tell us, that she was running backwards and forwards. Oh my gosh. Why do you think she did that and she didn't go to the potty? Why do you think that happened?
I don't know.
Huh?
And for some reason, I'm smelling ginger cookies.
You're smelling ginger cookies?
Mm-hmm.
That's me. I smell like a ginger cookie. Right. I can smell ginger cookies as well. That's really weird.
Why?
Because there are no ginger cookies here. So how come we can smell ginger cookies?
It's probably next door neighbor.
I wouldn't be coming into our flat, though. That's really weird.
Could be squeezing through maybe a teeny tiny crack in the door.
Maybe those things are possible. Did you have a good Halloween yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah. What can you remember doing?
Wearing a one-eyed
mask.
Mm-hmm. It was hard to look through it.
Yeah. Did the candles look nice? And the pumpkins, did they look nice last night?
Yeah, except for one thing.
Yeah.
They were mostly squashed.
Yes, they do after a period of time. Okay, right. Stay there. Hold on to my shoulder, and I'll get this off of you. Okay, keep holding on to me. And I will take this microphone and hang it up over here. Get this out of the way. Right. Do you think you can slide your legs off and down there? Okay, climb down the stool. That's it. Good man. Thank you very much for joining in the podcast. Give me high fives.
I'm going to go find out why I smell ginger cookies.
Yes, I'm surprised that you're smelling that and not something else at the moment. Right. One of those responsibilities that parents have that is unseen is what happens in the distant future. It's really, really hard to have a clear focus and vision about how things are going to look in 20 or 30 or 40 years. And there is a tendency, we were talking about politics a little bit, there's a tendency to want to over manage things sometimes. And we see this in the political sphere, where people are absolutely certain they know what's right for the world. And the truth is, they don't know. They don't know what's going to be. They don't know what's going to happen. And this attempt to manage and control everything is an attempt to cover things from their childhood that happened. Okay, darling, you want to come up and join us? Okay. Right, stand on there. Stand on there. Oops. Ooh. I'm not allowed to show naked kids. Okay, so I've got to keep my hands here. Okay, there we go. Oh, look at that. Who's that beautiful little girl there?
Me.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Oh, you're so sweet, darling. You're so sweet. Did you have a little accident on the bed?
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened?
I was on the bed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, did it make a big mess?
Yeah.
Oh, then do you know where the right place to do that is? Oh, not interested. Running away. Are you going down? You want down? Okay. Okay. I'll give you a lift. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, there we go. Thank you for being on the podcast. There we go. All right. Yeah, there's a lot of management, which is an attempt to repair unresolved issues from the past. No one really knows what's right for everybody. Crazy but true. Some people do know more than others. And we need people with highly developed skills. We need people with highly developed understanding in the world that can share their ideas with other people, that can become teachers, tutors, mentors, coaches, whatever the world needs. And so with the Practical Parenting Podcast, we try to encourage people to develop the skills that they have so that they can pass these skills on to other people and to their children as well. If you'd like more information about what we do, you can find us at the Academy of Language Therapy and Life Coaching on YouTube and on Facebook as well. We have weekly emails that we send out with lots of links and information, and you can subscribe to those. They're all free. What else do? We produce amazing parenting videos, and we do the Practical Parenting Podcast. So if you've got questions or issues related to parenting that you would like to discuss, you can leave a comment under the video. You can write to us directly. Okay, darling. We will deal with that in 1 minute. Right. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope this has been of interest to you. As usual, we have to deal with the chaos of our homeschooling and the kids doing perhaps a few things that they shouldn't be doing, but that's the way that it goes. We live, we learn, we love, we learn. What's up, Will? Oh, you found it. Super cool. Give me a high five, mate. Thank you. Right. So, yes, we'll give it to you in a second, darling, but I have to explain to people on the internet that, yes, I know I'm going to give it to you in a second, that this is clearly not a skull. It's a cat. Look, it's a cat, right? There you go. It's a cat. It's a cat. It's a cat. Look, nose, mouth, eyes. It's a cat with a hat, right? It's not. Everyone thinks it's a skull. Insanity. Okay, can you give it to your sister, please, before she explodes? All right, there we go. Thank you. I don't know what to do. Everyone else says it's a skull. I'm pretty sure it's a cat with a hat. That's the way it goes. Right. As the insanity continues and we enjoy the time with our kids, I will say thanks very much again for tuning in. This is G signing off. We'll be back again with another podcast very soon. I hope the information has been valuable or useful for you. And it's a pleasure to be able to present the information. Yanka, are you coming back to say bye, or no, you're not. Okay. Just wave. Okay, you can go now. Right. Yes, SH, it happens. You know the score. Have a great day, guys. Take care.